Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today, yet again, I'm going through all your comments, all your questions, and answering them in this volume 16. Today is February 20, 2023. Let's begin with the very first one from Frank M. Buckham. And I'm very sorry if I'm mispronouncing your names. Thank you, sir. You're very welcome. Frank, thank you for watching. Alright, comment from Siltire, I guess. We hope they will finish soon as possible. Okay, that was a comment on I-130. Why I-130 is taking so long? Yes, definitely we are. We're all waiting. We're all being patient. But if your case is outside of normal processing times, make sure to reach out. Make sure to stay on top of it. Okay, moving further to Mirlande Philanthrope. Yes, it's true. My mother, who is a U.S. citizen, filed my brother April 2014. Still reading. Well, I'm assuming it's still waiting. Yes, it is true. Unfortunately, whenever it comes to siblings, especially, that's category 4, F4. It takes a very, very long time, and I actually have the visa bulletin open for February 23. So if you are interested, Mirlande, I'm gonna take a look. And let's see, so we got F4, and it's approximately, well, depending on if it's a preference case or a visa application, depending which one it is, but it's pretty much same timelines, but it's still in 2007. So the applications from 2007 for siblings of U.S. citizens, they are now being reviewed. All right, so 2004, I think you said. So in your, as you said 2014. Okay, so yes, like 7 more years, unfortunately, to go, and it's very, very long time. So I really hope it changes, and these cases are, they get sped up a little bit faster. Okay, moving further to Nicolette Gardy. How long does it take for the NVC to send the file to the foreign embassy or the consulate? I'm in Ohio. Which service center should I send my file to? Okay, Nicolette, excellent question. Actually, 2 questions. Both of them are very good questions. So let's start with the first one. Whenever it comes to the NVC, right? As long as you've done your part, right? You submitted all the payments, you filled out the applications. There's a few applications. There's a sponsorship form. Kind of like a statement showing that yes, you are willing to take the responsibility for the beneficiary. There's also the visa application itself. So both of them you need to complete, both of them you need to pay for, and then you will have the whole separate section to fill out all the, provide all the documents. And there's tax returns, there is bank statements, whatever, to show your financial situation. There's the documents for the beneficiary, the police report, that there are no charges, that there are no court dates, nothing like this. Obviously all the, birth certificates and stuff showing your relationship to the beneficiary. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. Whenever all that stuff is reviewed, and usually it is reviewed within 3 to 4 months after you've done uploading everything. So once you've done everything on your part, usually within 3-4 months that stuff is being reviewed. I've seen cases where it takes as long as 6 months, but beyond 6 months I would say it's abnormal, and if it is, I recommend reaching out to them and just checking, making an official inquiry. But once it is reviewed, and if everything is good, if the Department of State, the NVC, they have everything needed, they will send you, they will let you know that that's it. We got everything that is needed. Your case has been approved on our end. We will transfer it to the embassy to schedule the interview. And usually that process takes about a month. All right, so 4 weeks. Roughly, it might take a little bit longer, 1.5 to 2 months. It might be a little bit faster, but most of the time that's how long it takes. Now, it doesn't mean that that's it. This is, just the interview. There will also be a period in between that, not too long of a period where you will have to, well, not you, but the beneficiary will have to go and do the medical examination in the home country, right, with the civil surgeon. That's very, very important. As soon as the date for the interview is available, they need to do it. They don't need to wait, because it takes some time for the civil surgeon to send the documents to the embassy, so that they have the whole package ready for the interview, and they need that. If they don't have it by then they're gonna reschedule the interview, and you definitely don't want that to happen. So make sure you stay on top of this. As long as everything is done on your part, it's good. Just make sure that it's, that you've done everything needed from you. And then the second question that you had, I'm in Ohio, which service center should I send my file to? I'm not sure exactly which file you're referring to, but if you're referring to I-130, I highly recommend filing it online. That way you don't have to worry about where to send it, how much to pay, how to pay. All of that sort of stuff is handled online, because it just shows you the price. It automatically sends it where it needs to. But still, for the purpose of this video, I will show you, if you are filing the mail, the application by mail, I will show you how to find it, so that whoever is watching this video can also get the understanding on how it's done. So I have the USCIS official website, official government website for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. We're going to go into forms, and then we're going to click on all forms, and that will take us to all the forms that are available. We're going to scroll to I-130, petition for alien relative. As you can see, file online, that's the option, and I highly recommend this option. But if for whatever reason you guys decide to go ahead and mail it, here you go. I'll show you the direct filing addresses. There you go. So we're going to click on this, and it will give you all the states. Whichever state you're in, that's where you will be filing. And as you can see, it doesn't go to the service center. So if you're in Ohio, let's see. Okay, here we go, Ohio. So you will be sending it to Elgin Logbox in Illinois. So if you're sending it with USPS, you will be sending it to PO Box. If you're sending it with a courier, you will be sending it to this address. Okay, so let's move on to the next comment from Inam Elahi. My son, citizen, sponsored me as a parent, living in USA for the last 22 years. Year in USA. Okay, so son is living for 22 years, US citizen, and he's petitioning for Inam. How many months will take work permit and green card? Okay, Inam, actually excellent question. That's a lot of potential immigrants, the beneficiaries, they wonder about it, because it's kind of unclear whenever it comes to, on USCIS side and Department of State, this information is kind of unclear. But basically what happens, the process that I described just now to Nicolette, right? Once you go through all of that stuff, you do the, you get the approval from USCIS, you get the approval from NVC, you go get the medical examination, then you go get that interview at the embassy, you will be issued immigrant visa. And I don't remember the number of it. I-5, it's three-digit number, starts with 5, I-5 something. Basically, which is an immigrant visa for now. Because once you enter the United States with that visa, once there is an entry stamp in your passport, that visa automatically becomes a temporary permanent resident card. So you are entering the country already as a permanent resident, which means that you don't need to worry about the employment authorization card at all, because with this you can already work legally in the United States. All you'll have to do is just go and get your social security number, which is, if you guys are interested to see this, let me know. I'll make a separate video on how this process works. It's not anything specific to immigrants, but a lot of times it is the immigrants, because as a child, as someone who's born in the United States, you get all that stuff as a child, so you don't have to worry about that stuff. But for immigrants, obviously a lot of immigrants, they go and apply for the first time for the social security number as adults, so it's a little bit of kind of it's a little bit different for them. So if you're interested, let me know, I'll make the video on it. But again, to answer your great question, Inam. You don't have to worry about anything. You will already have the right to work. Just get the social security card. And whenever it comes to green card, if the green card itself, the physical green card, was paid for beforehand by your son when he was filling out all the applications on the NVC side and paying for all the stuff, you will get it within the 90 days of coming into the United States, again automatically. If it wasn't paid within about a month and a half, you will get a letter from USCIS saying, hey, we want to send you your green card, your permanent residence card, but you need to pay this fee for it. Just pay that fee. It's about $400. It's not cheap, but you're getting a permanent resident card, and obviously you don't want to walk around with a temporary. So hopefully I answered your question. I'm gonna place my response here, and let's move on to the next one from Beleno Rexa. I am waiting for F4 from NVC. So F4 is the category petitioning when you're petitioning when you're a U.S. citizen, petitioning for your sibling. Okay. From NVC, nothing happened from 2009. I do not know, I guess, how long I have to wait anymore. Please just give me any answer. Of course, Beleno, that's one of the reasons why I have visa bulletin pulled up in front of me. That's I knew there's going to be a lot of questions regarding this kind of stuff. So again, F4, as you can see, from 2007, they're currently processing the cases, not necessarily processing the cases, but more so that line kind of gets there because they have a certain amount of visas that they issue, right, each year, and now it's from 2007. So that means that if you are waiting from 2009, you only have about 2 years, 2 more years to wait. I know it's already a really long time that you've been waiting, but that's just the way it is for the siblings, unfortunately. And trust me, I feel very personal about this as well, because I myself have a sibling that I'm waiting for, and it's been already a long time. Not as long as for you, Beleno, but I can definitely relate, and I definitely wish that there was a way somehow to speed this up. Okay, so let's move on to the next one from Farzana Patel. Hi, it's very interesting information. Thank you for watching. My brother case is approved by USCIS since 2010, but we're still waiting for his priority date available for visa number, but my niece is out of age. She's now 24 years old, so she can be eligible for visa. Okay, Farzana, great information. Thank you for sharing. 2010, just a year above Beleno. So again, for a brother case, sibling F4 category, that's 3 more years, because currently as of February 2023, and as you can see, this is February 2023, they release this bulletin each month. There is updated numbers. Most of the times they don't change, so don't be surprised that it's exactly the same in February, March, April, whatever. But each month the new ones come out, so you can stay on top of it. You can check it here, and I'll put these links in the description below. Hopefully I don't forget, but if I do forget, please remind me in the comments, and I will share the link, because I say these videos are come out kind of long. I say things I'm gonna put in the description, and then sometimes I notice that I don't. So let me know if I didn't. But it's about 3 more years, I would say, for the brother, and but my niece is out of age. She now 24 years old, so she can be eligible for visa. I'm not sure exactly what you mean whenever it comes to your niece. There is really no age limitation, as far as I know, whenever it comes to U.S. citizen inviting their siblings, whether they are under 21 or over 21. There might be a category change, slight change, but there shouldn't be a huge difference whenever it comes to the timelines. But if you do have any questions regarding this, if you can clarify, that would be great, and post your question in this volume 16 that I haven't posted, obviously, because I'm still answering it, but hopefully we'll post it in just a couple of hours. Okay, moving further to Imran Khan. If person live in California, which center should I apply? Okay, so that was a question on I-130. Okay, Imran, if you have been watching this video, hopefully you were, because I'm gonna place this so that you're aware that I answered. Basically, there is no service center that you send your application to. I highly recommend you fill it out online, but if you don't want to fill it out online, let's see, California, nope, just here, California, it goes to Phoenix, Arizona. And it's not a service center, it's just their, I'm not sure, I don't think that's a field office. But it's definitely not the service center, because they have Texas, Nebraska, they do have California service center, but as you can see, you're not sending it technically to the service center. So keep that in mind. But I recommend filling out online. Again, I repeat that a lot, but I think it's very important. I know some people, they don't like, technical stuff, filling out online applications, registering accounts and doing all of that stuff. But when you do it online, it saves you a lot of time. It saves you a lot of unnecessary mistakes, because everything is in front of you. The application is in front of you, whatever is needed. If you did not fill it out, it will tell you that, hey, you did not fill out this part, go back and fill it out. It will not just let you go forward with a paper application, right? You don't have to worry about blank spaces like with a paper application. You don't have to worry about the mailing address. Oh, did I send it to the mailing address? Did I pay the right amount? Did I do the personal check? Should I have done a MoneyGram? Or whatever, right? Not MoneyGram, money order. But you get the point. You have all of these questions whenever you're filing the mail application. With online application, all of this is out the window. Okay, in a good way. Let's move on to the next one from Lucy Nino. Thanks for the video. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. I applied for no objection waiver, but I haven't got it yet, and my visa J1 teacher is about to expire. Is there any option to extend my stay without leaving USA while I'm waiting the waiver? For example, filing the I-539, or is there another option that doesn't affect my waiver process? I'm from Colombia. Thanks a lot. Okay, Lucy, it's a very good question. Very loaded question, so I'm going to clarify a few things for everyone else who's watching. Basically, the no objection waiver, no objection statement it applies to J1, right? And J1 is exchange program. So basically, a professional from another country, right? In this case, Lucy is from Colombia. They come here to the United States of America and they work. And most of the times they have this 2-year period in which once they've done their work here, once their visa is expiring, they have to go back to their home country for 2 years. And within 2 years, they cannot come back here. Now, it's done as a relationship kind of treaty between the United States and other countries, basically so that they kind of do the exchange. That's really what it is for, right? Exchange the professionals. But the no objection statement, the way it works, you have to file the application with the Department of State, right? They have to give you kind of an okay, a good to go, and then you have to go to the embassy of your country, in this case Colombia, in the United States, and tell them, hey guys, I need the no objection statement from you guys, so that you send it to the Department of State when they finalize it, and now you're good to go. So now with all of that information, back to Lucy Nino, right? Usually these cases, the processing time for these kind of applications is about 6 weeks. Here's the thing, however, because it doesn't just depend on the Department of State, it also depends on the embassy of your country. It makes things a little bit more complicated. So it is your country's government that has to say okay. Now, if everything is good, and I'm not sure how Colombia, I never dealt with Colombia embassy in the United States. I'm not sure how they are, how diligent they are, how organized they are, how on point they are. For example, the country where I'm from, their embassy is an absolute disaster here in the United States of America. Right? I try to avoid it as much as possible because they're not diligent, they're not organized. It's absolute disaster, okay, to say the least. So I know 99% sure that if I had something that was an emergency and I needed to send it, them to send something to the Department of State, that would never happen. Okay, they will maybe say that, yeah, we will, but that will never happen. So unfortunately, there is no definitive answer to your question because there's just too many people involved in this whole process, and there is a foreign country that is involved in this process. Now, to answer your second part of the question, is there anything that you can do in the meantime while you're waiting? Unfortunately, no. Because whenever it comes to I-539, you are changing the status from whatever it is. Now, you can definitely file for the extension of visa, and actually, while we're doing this, I'll show you the a few things that I think might be helpful for you to decide what you want to do. So we're gonna scroll down to I-539, application to exchange. And you will see here, let's see, you must not file form I-539 to request an extension stay in or change the status to any of the following classifications. So you must not file. So there's E1, E2, E3, there's H1, all the non-immigrant work visas, L1, O1, O2, special, Olympics, whatever, P1, P2, Q, R1. So as you can see, the J1 is not on the list, all right? So technically, yes, you can do it. Would I recommend it though? I honestly, to be on the safe side, because I would rather be on the safe side than take a risk. If you need to go back, right? I would rather go back, and I would wait for this process to complete from over there, because once you get that no objection statement, then your government, it means that your government no longer objects to you having to spend 2 years back home before coming back to the United States. And because you didn't overstay your visa, you really don't have any problems coming back. You've been here, you maintained your legal status, you didn't overstay, nothing wrong happened. If you're staying here and waiting for this no objection statement, you are risking serious consequences, because if you overstay and for whatever reason this objection statement is going to be denied, now you're in trouble. So that's what I mean by saying that I-539 is not an option. You can do it, but it's very, very unsafe. You're taking a lot of risk, because basically you will be waiting and you will be overstaying, and overstaying a visa it's a very serious consequence most of the times, because you know, even if it is approved, at the end of the day you still have the visa that you overstayed, so you will have some explaining to do, whatever else comes up. Okay, so hopefully I was able to answer your question more or less. If you still have a follow-up, please comment and I will get back to it. All right, moving further to USCIS, Kadir, please increase the cap limit for family immigration categories, specifically F1. It's been more than 3 decades since the last comprehensive immigration reforms for family-based categories. Now please act and do something beyond empty promises. Mr. Poros, President of the United States, family immigration really matters. Understand it, please. And I'm gonna heart this, and I'm gonna actually, I cannot pin this. No, unfortunately, I can't pin this from here. Excellent. USCIS, I'm gonna, you know, I cannot add anything else. The only thing I could add to that is do it for all the categories. You know, F1, F2, F3, F4. The wait times are ridiculous. And it's a really good point, USCIS, and that's one of the things that a lot of people do not understand whenever it comes to immigration, right? Because it's very, unfortunately, the media here in the United States, it presents it in a very, very, in a very bad color. Let's just say that. It misrepresents it. It misrepresents the immigration completely. Immigrants are people like USCIS, and the people that are, you know, in this comments section, you guys asking the questions, You want to do everything legally. You're following the process. You're being patient. You're waiting. You're paying the fees. You're going through all these medical examinations, all this sort of stuff, right? Unfortunately, the way these politicians operate, the way they do their media tricks or whatever stunts, whatever you want to call them, is they add all of these immigrants who actually doing it right legally to the other who are not even immigrants. They, illegal aliens, who don't have these wait times, who don't go through the process, who don't file the applications, who don't pay the fees, who don't go through the medical examinations. And it is really sad. It is really sad. But I'm glad that USCIS brought up this point, because it is up to immigrants like ourselves to actually make that statement and say that, no, there's a difference. Don't put us in the same category. We are concentrating on, people who are crossing the border illegally, and at the same time, we are taking away from the people who's been waiting, like all the people that I just went through the comments, for years, tens of years. It's ridiculous. It really is. So, yeah, don't even get me started. Let's go to Makil. He got a response here. Good day, sir. I'm a Filipino. My wife petitioned me in America. Then I work here in Saudi. Can my petition be processed faster here? You see, Makil here is a husband. Okay, he's a husband for, I don't know if his wife is permanent resident or US citizen. Why does he have to go through this? Why does he have to wait so much? He's a husband. And the same thing with children. If you're petitioning for your children, you should be able to immediately, if you are a US citizen, if you are a permanent resident, you should be able to immediately bring them here into the United States, because you're going through the process, you're doing everything legally, you're filling out the applications, you're paying the fees, they're going through all these medical examinations, through the interviews, through the background checks. Why are we waiting for 10 years? It's ridiculous. But I'm glad you guys brought this up, and I'm gonna place this here, even though it wasn't really much of the response, but I'm glad you guys are, that's why I created this channel in the first place. Okay, let's move on to the next comment from VNV Happy Times, and I'm gonna go down up to Najam Sohail here, so this video is not too long. My case appears, your case taking longer than expected to process. Okay, if that's the case, then you should definitely file the inquiry. Most likely, I'm assuming, yes. Okay, so you commented on my USCIS case. Okay, so yes, follow the process that I described in the video and submit that inquiry. It's very, very important. If your case is taking longer, you can definitely submit that inquiry. All right, moving further to Sharon Parker. Okay, from your last response, it's at the National Benefit Center, not NVC. Ah, okay. Thank you for clarifying that, Sharon. So if it's still in NBC, it means that it is still in USCIS. Okay, so let me read the comment further. Inquiry led to within normal time frame then. Okay, now says longer than expected. Okay, USCIS petitioner in US. No immediate family with this small child. Expedite request says not emergency despite the living situation. Okay, yeah, see that brings me back again to the previous point. You see, this kind of situation, and you submit the expedite request and the response is that there is no emergency. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. So unfortunately, that's the case most of the times. Most of the times, no matter how appealing your situation might be and how urgent it might seem to everyone, literally everyone, for USCIS, it might not be good enough. So unfortunately, that's the case. But since it is now saying that longer than expected, I recommend submitting another inquiry. Okay, just do that. Just submit another inquiry. Wait for the response. If the response is a boilerplate response, like usual, make sure to call them. If record all information, the dates, when you filed the inquiry, when you received the response. If your response is boilerplate, call them. What date, time, call them. Who did you talk to? What did they say? Once you have all of that and it's still cases still dragging, I've done a video on how to submit the complaint. I've done a video on further steps that you can take in order to dig into this further. I recommend staying on top of this, Sharon. Thank you for clarifying. I really appreciate it. And I really hope that your situation will be resolved, because it's really sad, honestly. It's sad. Okay, moving further to Monterey Parish. Can I send my form to Texas, as I applied my asylum from there and currently living in NC, North Carolina? Okay, so that's the application for a green card. Okay, Monterey, so congratulations. Since you're asking, it means it's the time for you to apply for green card, so congratulations. So that's good news. So it's for everything is different. I'm pretty sure that Texas, North Carolina, they're not on the same service center anyway. But whenever it comes to the asylum, it's a whole completely different story, because they have their own asylum offices where they review these applications, where they do these interviews. So it's not going to be related at all. Just because you sent the form in Texas for the asylum, you're now living in North Carolina. It's been a lot of time since you filed your asylum, so it's completely unrelated. It's a whole new different application. So you have to file based on your current North Carolina, which is let's take a look, because why not? Maybe it will be helpful to others. So let's see. We're gonna scroll down to the application for permanent residence. Here we go, and let's see where to file. Direct filing addresses. So you're filing based on asylum. Here we go. Let's see where you actually need to file. So I'm gonna compare Texas and North Carolina. Let's see. So no Texas, no North Carolina. North Carolina, here we go. And Texas. Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter, because you will be sending it to the same service center regardless. You will be sending it in Texas. Yes. So yes, you're still filing it to Texas. Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna place this so you know that I answered your question. Moving further to Muhammad Mia. Where is your location? How can I reach you? Mohammed, so this is not, I'm not an immigration attorney, I'm not a counselor, I'm not an immigration practitioner, or nothing like this. As you can see, all the information that I provide in my videos are just from the official sources, USCIS.gov, the state.gov, the Department of State official website. So I am not giving any of my advice, I'm not giving any legal advice or nothing like this. But if you do have any questions, just ask them here, right here in this video, in the volume 16, whichever video that you ask. As you can see, I just go through all of the comments and answer them one by one. Okay, so moving further to Alicia Thompson. Hi, why is it VAWA doesn't have a priority date? Okay, great question, Alicia. Thank you for asking. So whenever it comes to VAWA, basically that's a special immigrant visa category for spouses that went through some difficult times, right? The victims of abuse. So that's why it doesn't have the priority date, because it is the priority of its own, right? There is no waiting period, there is nothing like this, and that's why it doesn't have the priority date. So these cases should be, I'm saying should be technically because they should be, but unfortunately sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes even people applying for this, unfortunately they wait some time, but they should be processed as they come. Okay, so immediate response within literally within a couple weeks, if not less. But again, unfortunately sometimes there are delays. Okay, moving further to Yobani Serrano. Can I get my Paris citizenship if I join the military? Okay, Yobani, I'm actually glad that you asked this question on one of these videos, because I answered your question during the premiere of the volume 15 and in the chat, but it's not as much of the expanded answer as I can while I'm making these videos, right? So whenever it comes to the military, basically the way it works is whatever branch it is of the military that you're applying to, right? Depending on the responsibility, there are certain benefits, right, that the military offers you, and they offer it to you in a contract, right? So it's written contract, they show it to you, they're like, you will get this, you'll get this, you'll get that. Technically, you can ask them for anything you want. You can say, hey, you know, I'm an immigrant, I don't have a status, if I join, will I be able to get the status? Or my parents don't have a status, if I join, you know, is it possible for my parents to get the status based on it? So if there is a way for them to do it and they want you to enlist, they can say, oh yeah, of course we can do that. It's just, it will have to be added to the contract in a written form. So for negotiations like this, I definitely recommend talking to a lawyer. There are actually lawyers that specifically concentrate on stuff like this. Personally, I've never been in the military, so I'm not as familiar with the process, but I know for a fact that you can negotiate the terms of the contract whenever you are enlisting. So if you do want to add that type of stuff, that's the best course of action that you can do, is talk to the lawyers that concentrate on stuff like this. Find someone who offers a free consultation, go through that consultation and talk to the recruiter. Ask them if it's possible, and see if it works for you. So I'm gonna place that, and we're gonna move on to Michael Hathaway. Michael Hathaway, thanks for answering my question. I will respond back when I'm answered so that you get a better timeline for your members. That other member who filed on February 4th will see at least another 3-week lead time before he gets an answer back. Michael, thank you very much. It really means a lot to me that you're providing these updates. You are not just someone coming and, you know, asking for information, which is nothing wrong. That's what this channel is for. But you're also giving something back, and you're helping other people too who come in and watch these videos, and they want to have answers, they want to get information. And guys, if you're still watching this video after 36 minutes, I know these videos are long, but if you're still watching and if you have information, if you have updates on your case, you know, whether after I answered your question or not, it's really helpful if you come back and you post your update, because other people, they see the timelines, they see the dates, and it really is helpful. It becomes basically, you know, a good quality source of information. So it's very helpful. Thank you, Michael, and I hope it doesn't take too long. All right, the very last one today is from Najam Sahil. Thanks and appreciate your response and answer. It's really helpful. Najam, you're very, very welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you everyone for asking the questions. If you have additional questions, if you have follow-up questions, just drop them in the comments below. If you want to have like back and forth communication, make sure to tune in during the premiere of this video, and I'll do my best to answer your question in the real time. And I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless. Thank you for sticking around. I'll see you all soon.